We've changed our scenery a little bit for you. That episode, Welcome to the Tombs, absolutely outstanding. To my left, I have Jason McCarthy. To my right, I have Keith O'Brien. I'm also your host, Alex Mann. We are coming to you live from the Holbrook Community Access and Media in Holbrook, Massachusetts. We're streaming live on Livestream. We've got Facebook going. We've got Twitter going. We've got a live stream account going. So we're going to jump right in, as we always do, with our first thing is the kill count. Keith, take it away.
Well, tonight's kill count, a little difficult, but we're going to roll with 31. I got 31 zombies. A lot of innocent people on both sides. Well, actually,
And
nobody, but
check
yeah.
the sound if you could.
Check the sound.
Make sure your sound is level back home, please. Keep going. Just keep going.
For those that can't hear us at home, we've got 3 and a 1 for 31.
31.
31.
Stagehand, Chris, if you could go in and make sure that they understand sound is off on some of the areas. If they could, double check that for us. So as we like to do, we like to kind of thank some of our Twitter and our Facebook followers for joining us. So tonight, we've got in the audience, we've got Vinny, who's a staple, Kirk, who's become a staple, Madison, Chris, BJ's in the control room, Zach is also in the control room, and here's the list. Furry for Rose, if you can scan down, guys, and give me a shot of this from one of the cameras as you can. That is Beth. Beth sent us a box full of Cadbury Easter eggs with this awesome note in Hello Kitty. And I've noticed a trend between fiends, I'll call them fiends of The Walking Dead, are also fiends of Hello Kitty. I'm not, but so be it. And I don't think these guys are either, although he's the hot one. You seem a little obsessed with these and thought you would enjoy them more than a pair of Spurs, by the way. She's from Texas. Happy finale, yes it was. Happy Easter, yes it was. You're obsessed Walking Dead support group fan, Furry for Rose, also Beth. P.S. Please share with Vinny. He looks like a soprano, and I don't want him coming for me. This happened last episode when it was Jason's birthday, and we tortured him for being the hot one, and we discussed a great kill where it looked like crushing a Cadbury Easter egg, and lo and behold, Cadbury Easter eggs have been delivered. So also we have Jill, Paige, Cynthia, zombie reporter, who is gives a ton of tweets out there. If you're not on Twitter, get on Twitter and follow this dude. He does a lot of stuff. He's really into it. He's probably going to end up doing some kind of remote dialogue with us, and at least in the special, if not in next season. I'm looking forward to trying to do something with him. Allison Rule, Kari Nordaloff, I probably butchered that one. They want to know how they're going to survive without the dead. We're here for you, I promise. Adam Jones writes, at Adam Jones writes, he does a cool horror writings on WordPress, and Zomba City, and they are a comic book on the web out of England, which is following us. And they sent us some great art that they do, if we could call those up on the screen. And I'll describe what that comic book's about. And any second now, there we go. A typical day in the life of Curtis Madsen is about to get dreadfully interrupted. Curtis is about to find out what it's like to live as both a human and a zombie at the same time. Each issue alternates between the two timelines in a unique spin on the zombie genre. So in other words, one episode it's him as a human, the other episode it's him as a zombie. And then, as always, our over-obsessed, much adored Sandra in Germany. We love her. She is just absolutely one of the best friends we have. She is at a Comic-Con or a HorrorCon, and she's been sending me pictures of dwarfs, elves, and all kinds of funky things. And a lot of these other followers were at a Comic-Con somewhere down south, and they are tons of pictures of all the women hugging Norman Reedus. And for the first time, I actually wanted to be Norman Reedus. So, all right, now that all our thank yous are over and done with, we had to get all those out because this is obviously our last episode for the season. Let us move straight into the major character dying tonight. Jason, you called it, so I'm going to let you go. I didn't think Andrea was going, so what do you got?
I kind of learned that if I've stuck to my guns, eventually, if I keep calling the same character dying every episode,
Fair enough.
eventually it's going to happen.
Sooner or later, they'll die.
Yep. But Andrea's been on my chopping block for a while. I just kind of saw her just lose her effect on the show. She kind of faded out.
Okay.
She was always there, but she just kind of faded out as far as.
She
you know,
served
what
her
reason
purpose
she-
of
yeah,
the,
she-
of
her
the
purpose
two
did.
worlds colliding. Keith, what do you think of her passing?
You know,
Yeah.
You
I
were
mean,
always
we're all,
there.
we're all know, I mean, he did call it. I think I had chosen at the final, before the show started, I said Herschel might go. When we were discussing before the show goes, I was obviously wrong there. But I'm all for Andrea going. And the biggest thing, I will give her, you know, a round of applause. She finally made a first cut decision, and she's going to take herself out.
All right. It's no secret on this show that I am a huge Andrea fan. She is, I think, I know, I'm very disappointed. As soon as actually I knew she was going to die, I put up on both Facebook and Twitter, not my Andrea.
Can I just comment back?
Yes.
All right? Because if she had not talked so long to Milton, she probably would have lived out.
Right, and there is, we actually have a line of the night that came from Twitter, but
Yeah.
that involves that scene. So
Better yoga skills.
Yes, we'll remember that for later on. I'm disappointed, and I really thought she had a great thing going. Now, the one thing that I did notice was on Twitter, early in the season and you guys were not happy with the character. A lot of people weren't happy with the character, but they were directing it directly at her. And there was some backlash towards her. And in my opinion, it got unnecessarily ugly. And I was wondering, at what point do people understand they're watching a show about zombies? This is not a real person. She's playing a part. She's a character in it. And I thought that was a little bit much. Me, for one, I am going to terribly miss her. And I hope I get to see her in another part soon, because I think she's a definite strong female lead character. But we can move on. There was one question tonight that we threw out on Facebook pretty quick. It drew a lot of interest on both Facebook and Twitter, which if you're on Facebook, the Walking Dead support group, Twitter is at WD support group. And I'm sure between Jason or I, or maybe even Keith, will add a small little essay on our blog about the shooting from Carl, and that's at the WD Walking Dead Support Group.wordpress.com. So look for that in a few days. But was Carl justified in killing him? And before we get into the poll, Keith, what do you think?
Yes.
Thank you. And Jason.
Well, I mean, yeah, I thought you were gonna.
Oh, you want to expand now?
Oh, it's yes.
Now that I've moved on.
Are we
Okay,
going
hold
yes
on,
or no?
Jason,
We're
hold
going-
that thought.
Is it yes or no?
Yeah,
thought it
I
yes
was
or no.
looking for maybe a little bit more,
I say-
considering you and I, well, Jason too, but you and I are both very much gun enthusiasts.
Yeah, it's not. Well, that has nothing to do with it.
Absolutely.
Well, go ahead.
Give a kid a gun, he's gonna shoot
You give a
somebody.
kid a gun, he's
You
gonna shoot
know
somebody.
people are gonna be upset about this, so.
This is going to probably draw a huge talk, and I guess, well, I'm not going to get into it, but I mean, I'm sure somebody at 1600 Pennsylvania Ave will have something to do with. Will have something to say about what Carl did tonight.
Oh, that's kind of specific.
That was kind of specific. You know, it could be Joe, shotgun Biden. But anyways, so you know, the kid dropped his shotgun there, Joey Biden, and Carl took him out. And I think Carl's justified in doing it. He was told to drop the gun. He didn't. Carl didn't take any chances.
I thought it was the other vice president that shot somebody with a shotgun.
It's true, but Joe
What?
Biden's been going around saying all you need is a shotgun to defend yourself. Here's a
I-
shotgun, get
okay.
a shotgun.
All right.
Kid had a shotgun. It was loaded. You know, he was told to drop it. Carl bared down on him. I mean,
Right.
you're being bared down by a kid in the zombie apocalypse. Well, not just say a kid in the real world. You're getting bared down by a kid in the zombie apocalypse, and I don't want to say kid too much because Carl's definitely grown on all of us, including myself. But you're being bared down on a pistol and you're holding a shotgun, and he did start to rise up. I say he was gonna do something, and Carl didn't take any chances. So the answer is yes.
Jason?
Two minds. When you look at the setting and
Oh,
of the
Keith,
scenario.
one answer.
one
I'm
answer.
looking for
One
yes
answer.
or a no, and then explain your yes or no.
Well,
Can't have it
Yes.
both ways.
Okay,
yes,
good.
he was justified because when you look at his explanation to his father of all the things that have gone wrong when he's not pulled the trigger or somebody else has not pulled the trigger, to a kid, that's going to be reason enough to feel justified. But I'm gonna leave it at that, because I can go on for an hour about that.
All right, I'll throw in
can
my
I.
2 cents, and then we'll bring in what our audience had to say. My opinion, Herschel was wrong. He was probably upset that he saw Carl shoot this kid, but this was what it was, and you're right, it was kid versus kid. The kid running in with the shotgun was looking at them. He never had that gun really away. He was trying to sum up, can I take this little kid and can I take the old man? That's what I got. And every time someone has hesitated, the time you did not make that choice over them versus me, someone else has died because of that decision. Carl was absolutely right when he explained it to his father. If I did not do it, somebody else would have died. He would have come back and killed one of us. He might have killed me, he might have killed Herschel. I made the decision. This isn't like normal everyday activity. You don't go around shooting people like under these decisions. But you went to war. You had no choice. He had a gun. You give him the opportunity, put it down. He didn't. Lo and behold, you get shot. Plain and simple.
Exactly. I mean, you've got, bottom line, we're still talking about a TV show, but unfortunately, it rolls into real life. But you've got 2 deciding factors at war.
I think Tina agrees with us too.
Yeah.
She's learning from the mistakes.
She's learning.
Not her. She. Sorry, Tina.
Sorry. But you got 2 distinct sides that are battling each other. And as Carl said, it doesn't matter that he was, and I agree with what Herschel is probably saying, that he didn't like what he saw, and he's trying to reason with Rick of what he saw. But the point of the matter is you've got 2 sides going against each other, defending each other, and Carl defended himself. I mean, why is, if you didn't want Herschel and Carl to do something, they shouldn't have been put in a position to do anything. They were outside the fence for whatever reason. That's not a safe area. You got plenty of walkers running around. You got walkers running around. Now you've got one of the governor's people walking around. And how many people are behind this kid? Just my point.
So between Facebook and Twitter, it was overwhelmingly a yes. But a lot of people did want to justify that. Was it ethical? No. Necessary? Yes. Now, we saw a lot of variations of that on those 2 areas. What else did you take away from tonight's episode that we don't normally touch on, Jason? I mean, there was a lot of talk about the 316 concept. It was season
you got
3,
that one
episode
wrong,
6.
didn't ya?
Well, you know what though? Well, it was wrong, but it fit for some of the stuff that we saw. And for those of you who don't know, the line 316 is God gave his only son so that we could all live if you believe in him. I still think that could be foreshadowing because they have never stopped playing with that. So the question is, who really is the quote-unquote son here? But we all assumed it was Carl, but that's the fun part of this show is that it doesn't matter if we're right or wrong. We just want to talk about it because we love it. So
And we didn't just pull that out of thin air either. If you look at the lineup, it's season 3, episode 16.
on Easter.
Right, on Easter.
On
Yeah,
Easter.
on Easter. I mean, I believe in your whole theory before the show started. It just didn't pan out.
Right, and now I feel like I was wrong.
So you're not wrong. It was a great
know what?
theory.
Hey, we all bought into
Hey,
it.
I bought into it. I was with you on it. I mean, you had a great theory. You had a great pre-game, shall we say, session on it. Everybody was digging it. Everybody's nodding their head. Yeah, yeah. Nope, didn't pan out. It just
Hell
didn't
yeah.
pan out for you. That's all.
Right.
Just like what's her name didn't pan out. For,
Andrea didn't pan out.
Andrea didn't make
Not
it.
at all.
I don't know what I'm going to do without Andrea. That's
tough.
I'm devastated.
Tribute
Keith,
show.
Yes.
well, what else do you have in your notes? Because you have a plethora of notes over
I really
there.
don't have an out. I mean,
Start an argument with Jason and I, would you?
you want to side an
Yeah,
argument?
we haven't had a
Jason?
good argument on the show yet. We need ratings.
We need ratings.
I need angry people to watch us.
We need angry people. Well, you touched on the discussion that Carl had with Rick, and he was very particular and precise on why he justified what he did, and he didn't waste any time backing down from Rick. I mean, Carl's become very, and you know what, this will start out because we all started the season out, 16 episodes, with the very first thing that we talked about when we did the show was, I said kill count, and that's worked out, unless I'm wrong, which who knows.
And I for an episode and Carl
And we talked, and Jason wanted to do Where's Carl? We were gonna have a stopwatch at the beginning of the show, just so fans know.
Our
this.
show,
our
our
show,
season,
our
yeah.
show. Yeah. Sorry, Goose.
That lasted
we,
one episode.
we saw the show. It was, we're gonna have this Carl watch, and we're gonna have a stopwatch. How many times Carl disappears? Because Carl disappeared in season 2, and I mean,
Right.
I've become a Carl fan. I love the kid. I really do.
Right.
That ought to start an argument, because I know you guys, you know.
Well,
Yeah, like-
you're right that Carl's become a good character. I was almost hoping with Jason's theory that he was going to go tonight, and I thought that would have been
That would have been
great
heartbreaking.
because the governor lost his son, his daughter,
Kid,
Rick
yep.
losing his son would have been good, especially since we knew fairly certain that a major character from season one was going to go. So realistically, I mean, it had to be somebody, and that's the thing, nobody's safe on this show, so.
Nobody's safe.
Yeah, that's the key to it.
But you can always come back as a vision.
Now, one of the things I loved was the assault in the prison. I thought that was a fantastic, they came in, and it was and we made the joke, it was very much like the Predator movie, where,
Yeah.
we shot at everything and we hit nothing.
We hit nothing.
And then it went to the bad Predator movie, Predator 2, where they were running through the meat locker and they couldn't find anybody and it was a trap. What did you think of that assault on the prison and their response to it? I thought that was pretty good, Jay. What about you?
I think it started off great. I mean, first it was all silent. They were going through an empty shell of a prison, not expecting anything at this point. And then the governor picks up the Bible.
Yep.
And I'm going to paraphrase this because I didn't write the whole thing down, but it says, John 5:29, we find out, and those who have done evil to resurrection of condemnation. That was the foreshadowing of you're going to get your butt kicked here in a minute.
Right.
I thought that was really well done.
Keith, what did you think of the storming of the castle? Have
Storming
fun-
of the castle.
Have fun storming the castle.
Yeah, over here, I think it definitely references the Welcome to the Tombs, because they got into the part of the prison where they obviously were staying, and then they kept going in deeper and deeper. And so it's almost like Rick and his crew have learned something, but all of a sudden the governor and the Woodbury people haven't learned anything, because all of a sudden now it's like, why keep going? He was just hell-bent on getting down there and finding him, so he goes down into the tubes. I thought the assault was pretty good. It was pretty calculating. They had the spike strips hung up, so they killed some of the vehicles.
Right.
And then, I guess, I didn't really see it, and I'll probably watch the replay, but somebody threw a flashbang, or they tripped a wire, and the flashbang went off, sent off the fire alarms, which, again, Rick's crew has already had an issue with the fire alarms before. And it brought out some walkers from inside the tombs, because they've never really ever cleared out the tombs. Every time they go into the tombs, something goes wrong, and they use that to their advantage.
Right.
I don't know how they knew they were going to end up going down there.
Well, I think it's a prison, so you can kind of predetermine what doors are going to be open because they got the keys.
Because they got the keys.
You
So
know,
it's
so you
almost
can
like
send them down
So
that
they
way.
bottlenecked them down in there,
Right.
and they did get out. And when they came out, it was Glenn and Maggie, the newlywed gun crew.
Right. But what I liked about it was obviously
no more towers to play in.
yeah. The honeymoon is now over.
Over.
The Love Shack is gone. Tower 3, part of you 2. But what I liked about that was you saw the governor pay pretty much everything that he had stolen from those National Guard guys, and pretty much blew everything he had on this, trying to make this assault. I mean, using the explosive grenades to take out the towers and everything else. That was kind of key. And then they had to run, and they used what they had on hand with the tactical gear that was there.
Yep.
And sent them on their way. And then that brings us up to the next point, which blew my mind, was the attack the governor did on his own people, and the look on Martinez and the other dude's face. So, Keith, what do you think of that? As I check my phone here for the text messages that
I'm
are
getting
coming
text
in?
messages say no audio again, so. I don't know if it's the same text message.
No, I'm getting.
I have a no audio text message. Don't know.
All
If
right.
I mean, I can't fix it from where I am, but I'm not gonna worry about it.
It'll be there on the rebroadcast.
It'll be on YouTube. That's
Yeah, I think-
YouTube.
you know,
That was the governor's attack on his own people was very rickish. Is that a word? Rickish? We'll go with rickish. Can't hear me anyways. All of a sudden, he hears the people whining and complaining, like, hey, we don't want to go back, we don't want to go here, we don't want to go here, it was a death trap, blah, blah, blah. And the voices in his head start for him, and then he just turns on him and just shoots him. Right? And he didn't go back to Woodbury, which I had said, I think during one of the commercials, I said, he's just going to go back and say they killed all my people, but now who's he going to enlist? He didn't leave, nobody left but, women and children and old people as we
Right.
saw in the last scene, but he's lost it. You know, not to say he's lost it. What I'm saying is you know, the similarities between the governor and Rick, now, you know, he just didn't want to hear it anymore.
Right.
And he just drove off into the sunset with Martinez and the other guy. That's all he had. You know, it was
I don't
almost
think
like,
they went willingly.
you know,
at
I don't think
all.
they went willingly. He's sitting in the car and he's like, grab a seat, let's go.
Yep.
With, you know, or I'm going to kill you. And they reluctantly went, but they didn't go back to Woodbury, so who knows where he's going.
Jay, what do you think of the all-out slaughter of his own people?
I thought it was a long time coming. You could almost see it, that psychotic break, just on the verge for a long time. If you
Channel 39 has no audio, Zach, if you can work on that.
saw the other
Oh, there
two
we go.
guys after everything, after the governor gets in the van, they're kind of peering around the corner saying, should I get in? Is he gonna shoot me too? You know,
Well, they weren't whining.
no, I would have stopped whining at that point, like my dad, you know, spanking me or something. Seriously, to kill 20 people or however many it was.
39 has audio.
Yeah, I just got that back too.
Keep going.
It was a long time coming.
Right.
Just a long story short, it was a long time coming.
I think once he saw them kind of say, no, we're not doing that, he realized his run of governor is over. Wipe him out. Start fresh. But one thing that surprised me was he didn't just start scooping up the guns. He left everything there.
Everything there.
So I think we have now seen him go off way into the deep end and probably not coming back mentally, which will be great.
But
Well,
definitely
I
back,
still
though.
say there's going to be, this was a discussion during the week, you know, gun versus crossbow. I still say there's going to be plenty around. You know, there isn't plenty around right now, but there's going to be plenty around in a zombie apocalypse. There's going to be plenty of people dropping guns left and right. You're going to find what you need. But, I mean, look at Morgan from 5 or 6 episodes ago. That's one guy, and he had himself a complete town's worth of arsenals. I mean, that small town didn't have that much,
Right.
you know, so.
And one of the things we noticed, the storming of the prison,
And he wanted to
there
get
was
out of there.
no black expedition.
Nope.
Nope.
So we still don't know who torched the walkers.
And if it,
So
and if it was
I think,
Milton, we'll
and,
never,
and,
if it
and
was
Kirk's
Milton,
here
we'll never
tonight,
find
so I'm
out.
going to give Kirk credit for that. Absolutely, I think he's got it dead on that it was Morgan.
Isn't it kind of a moot point for an explanation at this?
No, I still want to know because
Well, I don't think we're never gonna find
Let's
out.
say it wasn't Milton. All right, let's say it wasn't because we knew, and he was beating up Milton, so maybe that's why he did it. Maybe it was Milton. We never got that definitive answer tonight. But let's say Kirk's right. So now Milton is off the reservation and he's on field trips and he's finding this and he goes, "Oh, look, a pit of walkers, barbecue." You know, how often can you go around and go, "Oh, I have the opportunity for Louisiana barbecue and ribs"? It's just, you know, that was horrible. So let's say it's not Morgan. So now you have another player out there. And we know there's other people walking around interacting because they left the backpack guy, you know, the Eastern Mountain Sports hiking dude. He's gone.
We also
And
never
they don't
found-
endorse the show, so don't get mad. Don't send hate mail. I'm just saying it's a good nickname.
We also never found out who was watching the prison at the beginning of the season.
Right. There was somebody
That
out
was
on that
just
field.
Yet
So,
another.
yes, yet another question that will never be answered.
Eventually it will, because they'd love to do that to you. All right, so kill of the night. Jason, what was the kill for you?
2-for-1 zombie slicer. I have a feeling that may be unanimous, but
I'm with you. Keith?
I had that written down.
Yeah.
But I'm going to switch to Andrea offing herself. I know it's behind the doors, but
Did
we
I
heard the
hurt you?
gunshot.
What have I done to you? Why? I'm
assault
sitting
for
right
that
here.
one.
Why?
I think if it was somebody that I liked, then you'll get it. You'll have plenty of chance next season. I think if it was somebody that I liked,
You don't like any of these people. You want them all to die.
No way. I'm on the Carl bandwagon.
All right, so I gotta wait for Carl to die.
Yeah, you do actually.
Correct.
No, not really. I mean, hey, I'm just saying. You want to kill of the night? I like the 2-for-1. The 2-for-1 was really good.
Yeah.
I had it written down, but
All right, no, you're entitled. It's just kind of hurtful to my
I'm
feelings.
sorry.
You know, I can love her from afar. I'm not stalking her. I've thought about it.
You can fire me.
Um,
You can fire me.
All right, we'll move on to the best line of the night. That's another feature we do here on the show. Jason, what was your best line of the night?
I honestly did not have one. I didn't take away any lines that really hit me.
No?
No.
Were you generally happy with the dialogue, or it's just you?
It was good dialogue, but it was just none of the, it wasn't any of those snazzy one-liners. that
Okay.
I like to have.
Keith, line of the night?
Line of the night, I am going to use this one, but I am definitely throwing a vote for the one that you're about to give us.
Well, I have my own, but then I'll give you the Twitter one, because I think
Okay, so
she-
you're not going, you have your own, not the
I'm
Twitter
gonna, I'm
one?
gonna give the Twitter one her own.
Okay.
I promised
All
her
right.
we would give her her
Okay,
own.
because I vote for that one.
Okay.
Hugely. The two that I have, and I don't know if we can play it real quick. The first one is Carl saying, I couldn't take any chance. You know, he was sitting there, he had the head down, and then, you know, in the beginning they showed him, he had the picture of his mom, and he collecting his things, and he had the badge of his dad's badge. And after he said, I couldn't take any chances, and it seemed like he was a little disappointed in his dad's actions, and he just threw the badge on the ground.
Right.
You know, and so I like that, and I love the Twitter line. So.
That's good.
Oh yeah, and hell yeah! Can we get a hell yeah?
Yes. Yeah, that was, yeah, go ahead.
Hell yeah is the line
Cue
of the
that
night.
up while I do this.
I don't know if I'll get it up.
My line of the night was when Carl told his father that you didn't do these things. You did not, you had the chance to kill the governor, you didn't, and now that's cost people. You had the chance to kill this one, it didn't. And this was a reflection, this is something that we have been learning time and time again through the episodes. Morgan told him, I did not kill my wife. Because I did not kill my wife, she ended up killing my son. I had to kill my son. This is a recurring theme that if you do not act and do not act swiftly, it's going to be a problem. And Morgan even told Carl, never apologize for doing what you did. Because Carl said, I shot you, I'm sorry, don't apologize. So to me, that was the key. But as we were sitting here and we were monitoring the Twitter and the Facebook feed, there was a fantastic line, and it's from Mackenzie Abed. I hope I pronounced that right, Mackenzie. If I didn't, you can send me hate mail. Her line was, finally, Andrea's ability to spread her legs paid off.
Jeez.
Or is useful, and that was when she was reaching for the wrench that was on the floor, and apparently it wasn't very useful because it didn't help her in the end.
Didn't help her. I have it, but it's only 3 seconds.
Yeah, that's all right. And so Alan, who is one of our listeners and viewers and support group members, put up asking for a hell yeah. So this is what we did inside here.
Yeah.
Everyone that was here did this. Put it right to the microphone.
So yeah, Alan wanted a shout out because on one of the comments about Carl's kill, and here it is. If I can just turn it up.
2, 3.
So that Alan is your line of the night. So thank you for that. And we're going to move into, we're nearly at the end of our show. What did you learn tonight, Jason?
I learned that what it was like to witness a psychotic break. You could just, it was so well acted, and you could just see what was going through his mind. You could almost see what he was going to do, almost like a little child saying, I don't like these toys anymore, I'm going to break them all.
Great analogy. I like that. Keith?
What did I learn tonight?
That you should have taken better notes.
I thought I should have taken better notes. I should have taken better notes.
I'm sorry. Now I'm hurtful.
I am. That's,
You
now
can,
we're even.
you can send me hate mail too.
Put on the gloves.
I learned Andrea died.
Andrea. All right. What I learned tonight was, as we've been doing this for the whole season now, going along with The Walking Dead. Wow, this phone's never going to stop with the
No.
reactions.
Oh,
What I've learned tonight is this has absolutely been a tremendous blast. Never in a million years that I expect us to go from our houses texting each other back and forth to a Facebook thing to having regular audience members come up and join us and get involved. We've got more people to volunteer up here with what we do at this cable access station. Then that expanded into Twitter, and then that expanded into this international following of the 400 or so people that are now following us. I have gotten to know some of these people very well. I end up talking to Paige and Beth, Cynthia, and Jill, Sandra. They're all talking back and forth. I got to find out his real name in Missouri, zombie reporter. He actually wants to be part of our show, and he's nowhere near us, so that's fantastic.
Road trip.
Road trip, yeah.
Road trip.
I'm sure it's in your budget to fly to us, not for us to fly to you, but those little things have really kind of made a difference to me that, while, we love this show and obviously we're overly enthusiastic fans, there are a lot of people out there who enjoy it just as much as we do, and look to us and talk to us about it, and we've all had a great time with this. I personally, I've had a ton of fun with Jason, and I've had a ton of fun with Keith, and I've had a ton of fun with all of you out there who interact with us, so I want to say thank you. So what I learned is, a stupid, silly, little fan show can have its own fans, and we must be doing something right. So I learned tonight, this whole week, that we're doing something right, because it's obviously working with other people, so. That's all I've got tonight. Jason, you get to take us away and say goodbye to everybody, so bring us into season 4, would you?
Well, thank you all for joining us for this entire season. I'm sure we're still gonna be talking about all this stuff, both on Facebook and on Twitter. I'd like to thank everybody in the control room